Okay? Now, the Mythic Mechanic. So for the Mythic Mechanic, let's just assume that everything in the fight is exactly the same. It's possible they change some timings of everything. It's possible they change how often or whatever, spell sequencing. Here's the Mythic Mechanic. When the fight starts, the boss is going to put... This boss is going to put out 10 debuffs. Let's call it the red buff. This boss is going to put out 10 debuffs called the blue buff. And you can decide who is on the red side or the blue side by just being the 10 closest people to each boss on the poll. Okay? So you can decide who is on each team. But as soon as the boss spawns, you are assigned like a 10-10 split. If you ever touch someone from the other team, you both instantly die. So you can never touch each other. The entire fight. That includes the first phase intermission. Right? All of this web bomb shit, all of the spreading, this, the entire earthquake phase we saw there at the end, everything, right? That's not all. That would be, on its own, that would be fucking insanely hard. But here's what else. Every time you take raid-wide damage, ever, everyone in the raid will spawn an orb of their respective color. So all 10 red people will spawn 10 red orbs, and all blue people will spawn 10 blue orbs, right? So each person will spawn one orb when there's any raid-wide damage, and I'll describe to you which mechanics actually do this. And then what you have to do is those orbs will last for 10 seconds, and if anyone doesn't soak one of them, everyone dies. You can only soak orbs of the opposite color as you, and if you soak more than 2 orbs, which goes through immunities, you die and can never be rezzed. So, on this fight that already has a million things going on, not only can 10 people not touch 10 other people, but also you are going to constantly have to soak each other's orbs that you're dropping. You can't mass soak them. And you have to do that while actually doing this fight on Mythic. Which, on paper, I think we have a great strat for this, actually. But on paper, that sounds like... I actually am super confident in our strat for this, assuming it just is heroic plus that. But I still think this, even with a strat that I feel very confident in, I think this would be the hardest boss that we've ever done. This sounds like a fucking massive boss. Like, I can't believe how hard this will be. So, let me show you the mechanics that do it, okay? So, just so you can get an idea of when these orbs would spawn. All right, this mechanic. You guys see this mechanic where you have to spread with this? On Mythic, this goes on all 20 players. So straight ahead, 10 seconds into the boss, you will have to soak everyone's... you'll have to soak the opposite thing, okay? So that mechanic. Okay, no other mechanic here. I believe the next mechanic that does it, where it spawns orbs, is... I think it's the charge. I think the charge causes it. Top of my head, it's like right when the like damage amp happens. So like the boss charges through. Okay, here we go. Ready? So these would go off. Maybe again things happen at a different time, but you would have to soak the other team's orbs now. And then you would also have to soak them again when this boss lands. So like a double soak there. In the intermission, you will have to just do the intermission and never touch someone of the opposite team, which doesn't seem too bad on paper, right? There's like 2 symmetrical things going on. All right, second phase. Remember how I told you guys before? Someone asked, are orbs a private aura? I don't know, but that wouldn't matter. Anyways, okay, so here's the next phase. So let me go over the things that will spawn an orb. Okay, when the boss ports and pulls you in, orbs spawn for every player. Oh, it's about to happen. Orbs spawn from every player right after it sucks you in. Ready, 3, 2, 1. 20 orbs just spawned. You have to go soak them. Also, here, it pulls you into the boss's hitbox. I don't know how they're going to solve this. Obviously, you can't touch anyone from the other team. So let's just say even best case scenario, everyone from red is here, everyone from blue is here. I think this would kill everyone because it pulls you directly into the boss's hitbox. But, I mean, they could just change that to pull you, like, almost into the boss's hitbox, and then that's technically solvable. And where's the next thing? Okay, here comes the debuffs, guys. All right, let's talk about the debuffs. Here we go. All right, 3 debuffs just went out. On Mythic, it's 5. Every time you dispel a debuff, it's going to spawn an orb on everyone. So there will be 100 orbs that spawn in the span of dispelling all 5 of these orbs that you have to dispel precisely every 10 seconds to keep a stacking damage amp on the boss and to prevent it from killing you. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, it's hype. It's fucking hype. And that's what happens when you don't dispel it in time. The boss will just kill you, but... Yeah, and in the last phase, it just does a mixture of all of those things. So... Yeah. I will say this boss has been one they have been updating a lot, and oftentimes they add things then remove them. I think this boss is killable as it is, but like every boss is killable. Tindril in its original form was killable. I'm not memeing. Like, the boss never needed to have a health reduction on Mythic progression. We killed that boss with like minutes left in the last phase. They just did that because they wanted it to be over. Because it was already so hard. Like, this boss would be killable. I actually feel like I have an idea on how to do this, and I feel pretty confident about it. We got done with testing yesterday and literally drew out how you would do this on Mythic and left the Discord feeling confident, right? But acknowledging that also this is probably going to be the hardest boss we've ever done. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be pretty wild. The Mythic testing of this fight is going to be a fucking movie. I think you are going to... All the guilds you see public testing this, if they don't change it on Mythic, I would be surprised if they made it past like a minute into this fight. Like, I think it's going to be an absolute fucking insane fight. But, I mean, we just got done with a raid where a lot of people were upset with the difficulty of the second to last boss. So it is definitely a choice to be like, but I'll fucking do it again. I mean, this is like, I'm actually pretty confident in saying this. I have tested a lot of second to last bosses on Mythic. We haven't actually, the Mythic test hasn't happened yet. But like, let's say I've prepared for a lot of second to last boss Mythic testings after seeing Heroic. This one is like twice as hard as any other one that I've done, like, on paper. Even feeling good about it. Like, knowing what we're doing. It's just, I mean, it's just crazy. This boss is fucking crazy. It's an insane fight. What is it? Surely they just straight up remove the killing each other part when we're done with this boss? I actually think the killing each other part is more fair. I actually think they should just completely remove the orbs. Because the orbs are pretty solvable with, like, the whole thing. It's just going to be not fun. You're just going to be running around soaking orbs literally the whole fight. You're going to be non-stop moving on this fight. And I think people are going to be really frustrated with that.